But up first this week, an artist that we went to some lengths to bring to you. Here's a sample of her music.
You and I don't make ever after, 'cause we ran quick but love ran faster. Slow enough that when I see you, all I wanna do, I'm still the girl you thought I'd.
You know, sometimes we literally go to the other side of the world to bring guests on this program. We have done transatlantic phone calls on numerous occasions.
Sure, we've had
some
guests.
of the leading names in music.
That's right, and guests from Australia and New Zealand and, yeah, all over the place.
This is true. This week, to kick off the show, we've gone the farthest we can possibly go down the hall and actually bring somebody in here from elsewhere in the building.
And not just anybody, I might add, Bob. It's not like we went down to the end of the hall, hit the wall, and you know, well, guests, we need guests. No. In fact, we handpicked one. We handpicked our guest. This is Meredith Shaw. Hello.
Hello.
Meredith Shaw is from Boom 97.3.
I am indeed.
Just down the hall, our sister station. And
I'm your sister in station and person.
Well, and it's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
It's funny introducing ourselves because, of course, we're only here for the weekend show, and you're doing the weekend thing, but down there.
Yeah.
Never the twain met.
Never
thus
saw a
far.
twain.
Yeah, no, not anywhere around. Meredith is with us because she has a brand new CD release. In addition to her radio gig, this is actually more the point. And I guess this is the question. The CD, by the way, is called Place Called Happy. The inevitable question when somebody's known in one capacity but actually is more involved in another is, so are you a radio DJ who happens to be a musician? Or,
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, who am? Oh my gosh, is that what we're doing here? Who am I? I think that's kind of the predicament of the modern artist, really, like the kind of modern singer-songwriter. You've got to be doing a few different things to make it work. And luckily, what I do all relates. You know, I'm not a bartender, or I'm not, you know, my day jobs kind of make sense in what I do, which has been really nice. So I host this morning radio show on the weekend at Boom, and I also have a company called Muffy Made, where I draw, and I have greeting cards and lip gloss and chocolates and all sorts of things. And I'm actually doing quite a bit of merch for other artists with that company. So the three things that I do seem a little wacky, but they all relate.
It does nicely.
They tie in. I mean, you did the artwork for your album.
I did,
cover.
yeah.
And it's really terrific. It looks
Thank you.
great, and it fits the music perfectly.
Yeah, well, when we were thinking about it, because I too had that kind of struggle, like, do I just want to go out with my music, or is there something interesting with the variety of things that I do? And with the record being called Place Called Happy, I mean, once you've seen my drawings, you can't really get much happier than these little things. So it all kind of made sense.
It's very sunshiny.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And this is no cottage industry project. Gordie Johnson produced the album, co-wrote a lot of material with you, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he plays on here too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays like a ton of stuff. Yeah, he's bass, guitar. I mean, when you got someone like Gordie in the studio, it's like, oh, can you just... just do that.
Yeah, of
oh,
course.
can you just play the drums? Oh, sure, play the drums. Okay. So he had a lot of fun, and we just had a great time in Austin making it.
At Willie Nelson's studio, is that right?
I know.
How about that?
It's pretty fun.
It's funny, for me, Gordie Johnson wouldn't be my immediate first choice for the music as the way it came out. In other words, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Came out great. But if you played it for me and then said, now, Blair, who produced this? Who do you think produced this?
Right.
I wouldn't have said Gordie Johnson. So how did that happen?
It was one of those music industry turn of events. I was in a band that was a little bit harder at the time. It was a little bit more rocky, perhaps more traditionally up Gordie's alley.
Right.
I hadn't been working on my own material for a little while as a solo person. I'd been writing more with the band. So I had to take a little bit of time to write my own stuff again in my own voice. And Gordie was really helpful with that. But you're right. It's not the first choice, but I think that's why it's really interesting. It's because I thought this might be a little bit of a risk, but I think it could be wicked. And luckily, I think that's what we got.
Gordie's an interesting character because the music he's been making for the last, 15 years or 20 years is very electric, very bluesy, earthy, rootsy, raw, all those words.
Yeah.
But when I first met him, I don't think he'd played electric guitar before. I think he'd only... I met him when he was quite a young man,
right.
And he played acoustic guitar and he played country blues.
Yeah.
And he may have played electric guitar, but he certainly wasn't known for it. He was known as the guy who played, Charlie Patton songs,
yes.
and Robert Johnson and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So again, I guess what that says, it's kind of like your story and my story too, if I may. people can do a lot of things, even though they may get known for one or another of those things.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the reasons why Gordy was interested in this, because it was a different thing for him. And he hadn't really worked with a girl like me before. I think he's only worked with one other female before, I think, if I'm right. And she was a Quebec artist. But this is certainly his first female foray into this genre. I mean, he's worked a lot with Joel Plaskett, and obviously the Trews, and then he's just worked with a guy named Tim Chasen, who's somewhat more in my vein.
Yeah, we know Tim, singer-songwriter. PEI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's been great about working with Gordy, is that I'm now involved in this musical family, and everyone's been really helpful. Like the Trews put Tim Chasen on tour, and then I've been on tour with Tim, and so it's like I'm just waiting for the next Gordy baby to help that person out. You know?
That's nice.
That's beautiful. The musical family and the radio family.
Absolutely.
Meredith Shaw is in the studio with us. She works down the hall a little bit on Boom 97.3, but we're here talking about her awesome new CD release, A Place Called Happy. Just Place Called Happy. There's no A in there,
No
right?
A, just Place.
Place Called Happy is the name of it. We'll give you a little more sample from it and come back with more with Meredith Shaw in the studio on News Talk 1010.
He is reckless with her heart, and he knew it when he started. What makes him so good? But he's gentle